Java user groups, JCP, and you.
All right, you guys. You're live, so.
We're live.
Bombs, no cussing in any language because I know you guys have multiple languages. You are live.
Okay, I'm talking now. Okay. Hey, everybody. We're back at Java 1 in Moscone West in the Dev Lounge. I'm Heather Van Cura, and our interview today is about Java user groups and the JCP and you, how you can get involved and participate. And we're going to hear from our panel of Java user group leaders about some of the fun things that they've been doing over the last year in terms of getting developers in their local communities involved with the latest releases. So as you know, we've had 2 major Java releases in the last month, so both Java EE 8 and Java SE 9. So all of these user group leaders have made significant contributions, and many have been recognized as being nominated for the annual JCP award. So congratulations to our nominees. I'm going to ask each of you to introduce yourself quickly. Quickly introduce yourself. Speak only when spoken to. I'm going to start with Pratik from the Atlanta Jug.
Hi, my name is Pratik Patel, Atlanta Jug.
Okay.
So I am Mercedes from Guatemala. I represent 2 communities, Shaina Yug and Shela Yug.
Hi, I'm Jonathan Ross. I'm representing the Chicago Java user group here.
Okay. Constantine.
Okay, Constantine Drabo, Fase Jug in Africa, Burkina Faso.
Bert Breeman, NL Jug, but also for Bruno from Brazil.
We got Brazil covered. South America's covered.
Oh no, forget the best one.
Simon Mayport, I represent the London Java community and the Virtual Jug. Virtual Jug was one of the nominations. It was an absolute disgrace we wouldn't win. That's all I'll say.
And Jug also.
Well, yeah, you definitely deserve that nomination. So we might as well just kick it off right there. So Virtual Jug was nominated for a JCP award. And that was really based on all of the effort that we put in together over the last year in the JDK 9, Java SE 9 virtual hack days. So we organized 2 of those, actually. And some of the Java user groups that are here on our panel actually participated in those virtually. So Simon, why don't you tell us a little bit about that effort?
Sure, yeah. So the first session we did was in London. I can't remember exactly when that was. It was in 2017.
It was in
for
April.
Sure. April,
it was
there
in
we go.
April in London. Yeah.
And we did a 6-hour hack day, and it was around Java 9. We did some work around modules. We looked at JLink. We looked at JShell. And the idea was we did a small amount of presentation, but the majority of the time was spent hacking. So we had exercises which are all open source on GitHub that anyone can download and play with. And the idea was that we actually got the community to have a look at the code, the source, the samples, to play with it and give that feedback from the community directly back to the expert group. So we did that with London, and we did that in combination with a whole bunch of other jugs that actually joined the Virtual Jug Hangout. I think the first time we did it in London, we actually had quite a few hundred people online, both online and in various places around Europe.
Yeah, there were hundreds.
Hundreds, literally hundreds. Yeah.
Hundreds.
The second time we did it, we actually went to. In fact, Heather was there as well in London with us. Manny Sarkar deserves a big shout out. He's done a lot of work with this as well.
From the London Java
From the
community,
London Jug,
so basically pulling in the local Java user group. But then we also had several Java user groups join us remotely. Joined your hangout.
Yeah, they did. Yeah, Iceland was there. We actually had Ecuador. I think C-Jug was there for a little bit of it, maybe, as well. Melbourne was there as well, Melbourne Jug.
Melbourne in Australia.
And then I'm going to pass over to Pratik because I don't want to talk too much about
That's
the
good
Atlanta.
Idea. Yeah, good idea. So, so basically, a lot of the feedback from the Java user groups was they really enjoyed that. They'd like to participate because the time zone being in GMT time zone, that didn't work for them. So we organized a second hack day, which the Atlanta Jug graciously hosted. So maybe Pratik can share a little bit about that.
Yeah, so we did a Java 9 hack day in August, and we had Simon and Heather there. It was pretty good. We had a really good turnout, and we had, 9 other jugs, I think, that kind of also we live streamed to. And we actually did find a bug or 2 in the JDK, didn't we, Simon, at the August one? So it was pretty good. Everyone really enjoyed it. And we actually did something useful by finding some bugs in the software. So.
Right. Yeah, that was cool. And actually, we also did one in Chicago. Jonathan was there. It was actually hosted by IMC, so I'll ask you to share about. But the other thing I wanted to point out about especially the one in Atlanta, was we were getting so close to the final release. A lot of the focus on that also was getting ready and how to use Java 9, right? Getting ready as a developer. So I think that's also something that Java user groups can start to do now since it's first coming out. And you can say something in a minute because we've got to move on now because I already said we're going to hear from Jonathan to tell us a little bit about his hack day.
Well, when was that? Well, it was back in 2016 or something like
yeah,
that?
Yeah, it was, but then you've kind of followed on with other events in terms of participating in
That's
some
right.
of these virtual
and we
hack
had
days.
Charlie Hunt in telling us all about the changes to the JDK, and you were there. And
I was there too. How do I end up being everywhere?
I know, right? We
I don't
had
know.
about 30 people bringing in their code and trying it out in an early. This was a very early release of the JDK 9. We found a couple of bugs then as well. So yeah, it's a useful process. All in all.
Cool. Well, I know I'm going to go back to Simon because he always has something to say, but at this point I want to kind of shift to the Java EE efforts that the Netherlands Jug did as well. So maybe Bert can share with us a little bit. You were nominated for the JCP award as well.
It was on
For
August.
second year in a row nominated.
Yeah,
So you've done some work with the security JSR, I believe, was really the majority of the work that you've done.
We
were
did
nominated.
a hack day on August 11, I thought. It was on Friday. Well, normally on Friday at the end of the day, you're going home for the weekend.
Right.
But no, they were just hacking and were working very hard on it. And it was a good session. And afterwards, we did some events already in the last few weeks. There was also very good visiting in the Netherlands. So
I wasn't at that one, so I guess I'm not everywhere.
That was my question. Where were you? You were everywhere. But she will come to the Netherlands in 1 month. You will come to JFall conference.
I'll be there for JFall.
Yeah, so that's very good. No, but we are happy now. We are now, I think, busy now for 2 years with the JCP, and well, this is going and growing. And it was starting from, well, what the heck did you do with JCP?
The hack.
But now it's changing. Also in the Netherlands, they want to contribute and want to help with it, and that's the good news in the Netherlands for the JCP.
Cool.
I like that.
I'm glad you like it. Well, so right as you were talking about that, an idea came by, and I see Venkat's in the audience, and that kind of, the idea of being everywhere, kind of, I thought we should highlight here. Venkat's been doing an initiative he's calling 50 for 50. So Venkat, come up and do a guest appearance with our stage is not full yet. Tell us a little bit about that.
Thank you. It's definitely a pleasure. So I'm turned 49 and I'm approaching my 50th birthday.
Yeah.
So, I mingle with crazy people. So obviously I came with a crazy thought, and that was to do 50 user groups in the 1 year that I'm going to approach my 50th birthday.
Right.
And I blogged about it, and within about 3 weeks I was overwhelmed, got signed about 50 user groups. So I've been traveling around the world now. And as of today, I'm done with 16 user groups.
Wow.
So we got a really good schedule going. I was in Netherlands a few weeks ago, 2 weeks ago, virtual user group last week, and looking for Atlanta in December. So I'm thrilled, and I'm just happy to be going around and speaking.
Right.
Thank
well,
you.
I'm
Thanks for
sure
this.
that's a great way for you to be able to visit so many Java developers maybe that aren't able to go to conferences and kind of get them excited. And obviously, you're a fantastic and amazing speaker. So kudos to you.
Thank you, and absolutely
initiative.
right. So I was in Dublin a few weeks ago, and it's exactly what they said. A lot of people who can't go to these events, and so having somebody to come and speak is definitely touching more lives, and absolutely, I'm thrilled to have that opportunity. Thanks again.
Thanks. Sure. Okay, wait. I didn't give you that. Okay. Now, so we have a couple other Java user groups leaders, and we want to make sure we hear from them. So, Constantine, why don't you share with us a little bit about what you've been doing in Africa and some of the initiatives that you've been doing. In French? Could you do it in English?
Spanish.
Could you do it in English for me?
Okay,
Thank you.
We adopted the JSON B specification last year, and it was an informal summit that we gathered some people involved in our job to make a hackathon on this GSR. So it was wonderful for us, and it has been an opportunity for us to discover the GCP, how the GCP is evolving, how we can contribute to Java, how we can contribute to Java's open source, and so on.
All right. Yep. Now, I have not been to visit you at your jug in Burkina Faso, but I have done a hangout with you at one of the So virtually, we can do that. And finally, Mercedes in Guatemala, and actually a guest speaker in the opening keynote of Java 1 yesterday. Why don't you tell us a little bit about your Java user group efforts in Guatemala, as well as your JDuchess activities. So share with us a little bit about that.
So I will start a few
Tell
with
us what it is,
the
too.
JDuchess. Okay, JDuchess are the female communities of Java. And it's a way to make a most stronger participation to females in Java technologies or in dating technologies. And what I said yesterday, that is the way to change the future of our world. So we can make the future generations join more careers in science and technology. So we are women are our role models in our society, and we can inspire people to make things. So this is the JDuchess power. Right? Female power, make noise. Woo.
Make some noise in the audience. Audience, make some noise. Make some noise.
You're bad audience. No, boo.
Okay, there you go.
Thank you. Okay, now we can pass to talk about the JCP. So Guatemala now has 3 Java users group, and I am working with 2 that are new ones. I start to talking then, where is JCP, what is that? And now in Latin America with Medellin Juke and Ecuador Juke are organizing a hackathon like that was happening in August.
Like these, right?
Yes, like this one about OpenJDK.
Right.
But the idea is to make that in Spanish, right?
Right,
because
which
we
is
have
amazing.
many people
in the
that
local
don't
language.
speak English,
right.
and they are afraid to go because we'll understand nothing or, so we want to do that in Spanish and make more strongest participation of Latin America in JCP. So I hope that you go with us.
I know, we've been discussing it all weekend.
In the chicken box.
I'll be there.
No.
I'll be there. Latin America. Well, that's an awesome effort. I'm looking forward to that. All right, so we're going to wrap it up now. If Simon can have 20 seconds to tell us what he so desperately needed to say.
I actually think this is really important.
Okay.
One thing I will say is that for a number of years now, we've had communities appear on the EC, in the JCP EC.
Yes.
We've had SuJava and we've had the LJC.
Right.
And actually at the hack day that we did in London, the feedback that we got back from that directly affected the vote that the LJC provided for the Jigsaw JSR.
Yeah.
So in terms of how communities can actually impact and provide information to the JCP, it actually affected the LJC vote. So it was an important day that for JCP.
So everybody working together, the Java user groups, the JCP, the executive committee, all the developers there. So I really appreciate you sharing with us all the efforts that you put in. Obviously, you dedicate a lot of your time, effort, energy, attention to your local Java user groups, and I think it really does make a difference, and you can see that from the things that you've shared today. So thank you for those efforts, and thanks for joining me on the interview. All right. Okay. Yeah, give us some noise, people. Woo!